Hey, so I had a recent conversation with Lisa Jiggetts. She's the founder of Women's Society of Cyberjutsu. You know, after I hit the on the recording session, we ended up talking still, which is often the case with many guests. And we had some side conversations, and then we ended up talking about salary negotiation. Funny enough, so I thought the conversation was good enough. I'm like, hey, listen, let's start recording. So I went to go hit the record button again. I just wanted to capture. I think it was important enough that I just want to get this out there now, and instead of waiting till the full episode is done and polished. So here it is. Again, if you want to get in touch, go to gettingintoinfosec.com. You can email me at eamon@gettingintoinfosec.com. Hit me up on Twitter at coffeewithEamon. You can even ask a question. So you can go to gettingintoinfosec.com/ask and ask a voice question if you want. And, you know, I'm happy to have it on the show in the future. So, or even ask it for future guests. So, yeah, that's about it. I'll talk to you soon. So we were talking about like pay and stuff. So
yeah, I'm always, when I mentor folks that are looking for jobs, that's one of the things I say is, when they ask what salary, I say go 15, 20 more, 20K more than what you were making, because it's really not that much from the company's perspective, unless they're like a brand new startup or something. Maybe they need all that money, but these companies got money. So if they really can't afford it, they will talk you down. But, it's still more than what you were making. So,
Have you seen people not getting paid their worth from a skills perspective?
Yes. And that's because you don't know what you're going, like what you're going against, like the comparison between your counterpart. You don't know. And that's where I would like to have some transparency, to be honest.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that in both in all genders, or just in one specific area?
Yeah. That's like all over the place. And I only know this because I ask people and if they're like, I'd rather not say. I'm cool with that. But, you'd be surprised how a lot of people are willing to share how much they make. And you're like, wait a minute. Isn't so-and-so, I know they're not making that. So that,
And it's funny, HR, there's actually a lot of HR policies that tell you do not share that information. They actually don't want you to. Can you, have you heard that before?
It's not right.
Yeah.
I'm a fighter against that notion.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is, but I don't like that.
I know, but it's kind of shady. Like, they won't,
it is.
You're not allowed to tell them how much you get paid. What? Why not? Like, it's like a game they have everybody like in. One thing in California, it's illegal now for them to ask you how much you're getting your current job, but not in many other parts of the US or the world.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And I always tell people, do not, never tell them how much you're getting paid right now. Never. Because, if you're getting paid, say you took a low salary because for whatever reason, right? Either you were desperate or you didn't have the skills. So you just wanted, your foot in the door, and now you do have the skills. You shouldn't be penalized in your next job for taking a low salary.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that, because that is a very plausible scenario. You just got to get in. So I'm going to take this low pay.
Right.
But maybe that's why a lot of people, well, I guess when they go to the next job, that's when you would say, if you have to bump that number up, or if you decline, then now you're at their will. And I guess you can go back and forth with them from, that perspective of negotiating. And that's what I think the most, recruiters, especially when they talk about, give advice on salary negotiation, they say that the candidate should not say the number first.
That's right. Yeah.
But me personally, we have differences on that, but I'm like, I will tell you my number and it's going to be way higher than, and I'm telling you, like, it's actually working out more than I thought. Not just for me, but for a lot of my friends. And they tell me how much they're making. I'm like, what? I have something to work towards now because I didn't, So I like disclosure, and
Yeah.
you know, even if it is exaggerated.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely
I mean, you got to exaggerate to some point.
absolutely. It's a
And
negotiation.
maybe that's not the right word.
Bluff, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. My negotiation tactics are usually to ask for a range. So when they say
sure.
how
Yeah,
much, what do you want, and I go back to them, I say, well, what's the range? Because there's always a range. And
yeah.
so I
My
ask,
range has always been like 5K difference,
yeah.
right?
Well, once
I
they
guess
give
that's a
me the
range.
range, because they know how much. So once they give me the range, I'm gonna ask for the top end of the range or even more, right? Maybe like a little bit,
Yeah.
15 more.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but the problem from what I've seen is if you tell them, let's just take a hypothetical scenario. You say you lie about your current pay. Say you're making, I don't know, 120, and then you say you're making 150. Um, whatever pay, and say you say 150, and then but you're in your mind you're willing to take 135. Um,
Right.
and their range is 110 to 135 or whatever maybe. But if you tell them 150, there's like, I think, a 90% chance, and I'm not a recruiter, but I've been around, like, I believe there's a 90% chance that they're more likely to say no, because they don't want to underpay someone that's been used to a certain salary for X amount of time, because they're more likely to leave. And so there is that caveat. It's kind of like playing poker. Yeah.
I get. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can agree with that to some respect
Yeah, your mileage may
because,
vary. Your mileage may vary, right?
but how many people are in that group? You know
I don't know.
that
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
asking where you're just way out of the ballpark here. You're not even in the range. So now the question is, what's the situation here? Is it like a startup where they don't have, because actually I've been in that situation recently when I was looking for work. Like I already knew the max I could get here, which was on the lower end at that
Mm-hmm.
job,
Mm-hmm.
but they were
Mm-hmm.
new. So in my mind, and if I was, I was trying to get back into work, I would have taken that job because it's
Right.
still good pay. It just wasn't at the max, which, who knows what that is? Like it depends. So
Well, that's the thing. That's
yeah,
what I'm trying to say, is that never, like, my advice in general is to never ever 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 give or tell them how much you're making, like, under any circumstances. And so what that does is, because in that scenario I mentioned, you could lose some leverage, right? Or some sort of, like, it's kind of like giving your cards out away, right? In
right,
poker. So, I just go back and, ask them, well, what's the range, whatever, or I just say, I can't disclose that information, or I don't
right,
want to, whatever, because there's no compulsion to actually give away your salary. They can never, and most people don't know this, they can never call your employer and ask them. There's certain things they're
right.
not allowed to ask your current employer. They're not allowed to ask how much you get. There's like a variety of things that they're not allowed to ask. I need to look them up.
Oh, I was thinking like if you have kids and
Right. Well,
um
yeah,
that's
definitely family stuff. But even from a performance perspective, I don't know. I think the only thing, and I need to check this out, but, like, I think there's a limitation on a few questions. Like, we're looking to hire Eamon or Lisa. Would you recommend them or not? I think that's the question. I don't know if they're allowed to give away, like, performance
oh,
stuff or whatever. Yeah, I'm not sure. But I remember there's more restrictions than I ever knew on the questions that they're allowed to ask a referral, a reference,
right,
at least an
right,
employee
right.
reference. Hey, so I looked it up real quick. Just want to jump in here. There are no federal laws restricting what they can say, and the laws kind of vary from state to state. So check with your local state laws. That said, they could still say whatever they want. The only reason they may limit what they say is just due to defamation laws. So just Google it and research it on your own, and you should be good.
I want to clarify your comment. and see if it's the same thing. So are you saying that when you tell people not to disclose their current or their last job's pay, is that the same as what you would tell the recruiter how much you're looking to get paid? Are you saying those are the same things?
No.
Okay.
They're not the same thing. No. What your expectations, you definitely can tell them your expectations. Ideally after you've learned the range and just pick the high end of the range.
Right. Okay.
Or pick something that you think you think you're worth, and then add 15% or 10% to it.
Right.
That way they'll negotiate you down to the salary you do want. But no, what I'm saying is don't give away your actual current salary or even a pretend current salary, because I think that'll give away your playing cards.
Okay, so
Give away
I will change my stance on that. I will agree with that, because if
Okay.
you are still willing to bump up your potential pay, then that still covers it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's more
Yeah.
on your
Uh-huh.
side if you don't tell them your current pay, unless you do bump that up
That's right.
too. So,
Yeah. 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 But what I'm saying is telling them your current pay kind of anchors them in and it could
yeah,
backfire.
okay,
So and it's it's a way it's a tactic that's used by companies to kind of keep you at your certain level, because they're only going to give you 10% more
yeah,
than what you're currently getting, or even equal. And you need to negotiate on your own behalf,
right,
right? So
right,
I think today is Black Women's Equal Pay Day, and so that's when I saw the news story on it last night, it made me think, like, just employers will use this tactic to keep people and possibly disadvantage people,
right,
quote unquote, in their place, or
in
not
line.
letting them
Yep,
be upwardly mobile.
yep,
Yeah. So I think that's something to I just try to tell people all the time, just don't do that. So I'm glad we're having this conversation to kind of walk through the scenarios.
right. And it's not gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt your getting hired. You know, so that's a safer bet.
Yeah, they'll totally respect that. They'll totally respect that. I mean, just like, there's things that are protected that they're definitely not allowed to ask you, like your family status or anything related to that,
Disabilities?
which
I don't think
I
they
saw
can.
on Twitter. Disability,
Yeah,
right? All the protected
yeah.
statuses, which I was surprised. I saw someone on Twitter saying that the recruiter started like asking, "Do you have a boyfriend? Are
Oh,
you?"
really?
I'm like,
He was
"What?"
trying to get at her.
I'm like, "This still happens?" So I was just, again, I'm a little naive,
Wow.
and people that have heard me, I'm like, "Wow," but you know, I'm a little naive because in the Bay Area, we're kind of even in California, we're just in this like bubble.
Yeah,
But this stuff goes on, right?
yeah.
Uh, but there's a lot of various things that go on in the rest of the U.S. That's
Yep.
will definitely surpass my expectations.
Amy, you need to get
So
out.
I know, right? I've traveled, but yeah, uh, I need to get out. I guess, get a motorcycle and go cross country. Maybe I don't need to see that. I think I'm happy where I am. But yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, but yeah, it's good to have this conversation because it's at the end of the day, we're trying to help people, get jobs and get better jobs and get better pay. So
yeah.
I think this could
Good
be
stuff.
universally applied. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for giving us that extra bonus. I don't know if maybe I'll throw this as a bonus episode. Who knows?
Okay.
So, well, good chatting. Thanks, Lisa.
Yeah, likewise.
So I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. That was a wonderful conversation. And, there's a lot of people that don't know the intricacies involved with salary negotiation. It could be from experience. It could be from anything, right? So I just wanted to get that out there. And that's about it. If you want to get in touch, you can email me at amen@gettingintoinfosec.com. You can also find me on Twitter at coffeewithamen. Let others know about this podcast. I'm sure if it helped you, then it'll definitely help others. And if you want to ask a question, then go to gettingintoinfosec.com/ask and go ahead and ask a voice message there, and I'll put it on the show and answer it there as well. If you want to stay in touch with updates, get onto my list, gettingintoinfosec.com/list. So yeah, thanks, and talk to you soon.